Okay, so for the facial treatment, you'd want the client supine, face up, and you'd also want a pillow just raising them up slightly for optimal drainage from the face down towards the clavicle into the heart. So if you were doing just a facial treatment, just like we did before, you'd want to open up the nodes in the supraclavicular space with 5 to 8 pumps. You'd work up the neck and then go into the auricular space and open that before going in and doing your facial treatment. Okay, so for the face, you would start in the lower jaw. So you can get a nice broad hand contact just underneath the jaw, and your strokes can be directed downward in this area. So I'm just placing my fingertips and kind of a broad hand contact under the entirety of both sides of the jaw. And then just very gently doing kind of stationary pumps slightly downward. So the feeling you should feel as you're doing this is that you're kind of dragging the skin, and you should almost feel like as you're doing it, it is humping the area and allowing just this really gentle kind of opening of the pathways. The lymphatic vessels and the nodes are very superficial, so you don't want to use a lot of pressure because you could overtax the vessels and collapse them, and then you wouldn't be getting kind of the lymphatic drainage treatment that you want. Okay, so moving on from below the jaw, now we're going to go slightly above. Get a nice broad hand contact on this kind of upper lower portion of the jaw. And then once again, just a nice circular motion in the entirety of this area. And I'm kind of going down, allowing the skin to relax. Going down, getting a little bit of skin drag, allowing it to relax. And you just want to do this 5 to 8 times following our same protocol. So then you'd move up another level. You can go actually just above and below the lips. And now you're going to kind of redirect your pressure to the sides or downward. Either way works because we're going to go towards this way or towards the ears to drain down eventually. So here, once again, just do some nice stationary circles, a little bit of skin drag, relax. Okay, so moving up from this level, you can go a little bit higher, get a nice broad contact once again, and then stationary circles with a nice little skin drag. And this time we're redirecting our pressure and movement towards the ears. So you can start in the midline, then move down another level, and go towards the ears. Then you can move up another level and just below the eyes, really gentle here. So I'm just off the nose here and just underneath the eyes. You can place your fingertips down here and then just do sort of gentle skin drag and pumps towards the ears. 5 to 8 times. Then you can move slightly to the side, around to the sides of the eyes, kind of towards where the crow's feet are. Very slow, very gentle. This is relaxing for the client and also very relaxing for the therapist because it's forcing me to slow down and be very intentional about how I'm moving. You kind of get in a hypnotic state when you do this because you're doing this somewhat tedious act, but it's also really relaxing. Okay, so moving on from around the eye, then you could go above, right here in the eyebrows, just in the upper eye. Just really gentle here. Skin drag. And you're directing your pressure a little bit downward and to the side towards the ears. And once you start working into this area, it's actually really nice for the sinuses. And just try to stay relaxed with your hands, your arms as a therapist. I'm just resting my arms on this pillow. It's nice and relaxing, so you can move. Now we're going to start here with 5 to 8 circles, this space with 5 to 8 circles, and then here with a broader contact going towards the ears. 1 Mississippi, 1 Mississippi, Okay, so we've done this area. Then we move up a little bit higher on the forehead. And you can use a broader contact here, the flats of your hands, your fingertips. And you're moving from the midline out towards the side, directing your pressure towards the ears. You do 5 to 8 stationary circles. Then I like to go a little bit higher in the sides of the scalp, and this is in the temporalis muscle. And draining this area is actually really nice for anyone who has TMJ pain, sinus issues. Going towards the ears, 5 to 8 pumps. If you want the treatment to be a little bit longer, you can do 8. If you want it to be a little bit shorter, you can do 5, but try to get at least 5 in. Okay, so we've gone up, and let's say we start at the neck, this area of the neck, behind the ears, we've gone up the entirety of the face. Then we'd want to go all the way back down to finish the treatment. So we just reverse the same steps we just did. And you guys can do this on yourself, or if you're practicing on a partner, because this is a little bit tedious. It is a little bit boring to watch, but it's nice to do on yourself and very relaxing. So we're still directing our pressure towards the ears. Go below the eyes with your fingertips. Stationary circles. And now that we're going back down, you can direct the movement in the cheeks down towards the clavicular space. Then you'd finish by just doing a couple nice pumps in the supraclavicular area. And you can finish with some nice light effleurage if you'd like, down all the areas that you just did. Just nice and gentle. Just barely kind of skimming the skin. You can do that in 3 strokes.